Good evening. This is Ms. Floyd. She will serve as my audience for my informative speech, which I will talk about high blood pressure for public speaking or communications 209. Give me a moment while I reposition the camera as to where I'll be located. Good evening. We're going to have a discussion talking about high blood pressure. High blood pressure is a health condition where the heart pumps blood through the body at an abnormally increased pressure. Over time, this increased pressure force causes damage to the body. The damage is gradual and can be unnoticeable, thus the nickname the silent killer. During this discussion, I'll talk about what high blood pressure is, what are the factors, what are the dangers, and means to treat and control high blood pressure. I'm going to borrow from some of my personal experience dealing with high blood pressure, as I am personally diagnosed with the condition. A few years ago, I was initially diagnosed by my doctor doing a physical that I had high blood pressure. Initially, I followed the doctor's orders. I took my medications, I tried to eat right, exercise, try to lead a healthy lifestyle. But over time, I gradually kind of fell off, stopped following that advice. I didn't take it seriously, and I started to become my own doctor. I took myself off my medications, I stopped doing exercise, I kind of just went through life as I normally did, even got me to that point. Reason being, again, that silent killer. I didn't feel any pain, didn't bother me, didn't affect me in no least bit. I felt great. And again, remember, as we go through this, the silent killer. As I mentioned, high blood pressure is the abnormal high force of blood pumped through the body. All right? It increases the effort that the heart pumps. All right? And in addition to overworking the heart, over time, high blood pressure can cause damage to the organs, the arteries, your heart, as I already mentioned, your vision, your brain. It can lead to stroke or heart attack. It can also cause a limit into your quality of life. Most people with high blood pressure show no signs or symptoms, but sometimes they may suffer headaches, shortness of breath, nosebleeds, things of that nature. And again, like I said, in my case, I felt fine. One morning, a couple months ago, I woke up to go to my reserve battle assembly. During that particular battle assembly, we were going to be doing what we call SRP, Soldier's Readiness Review. And during that time, you go through and you're getting checked medically to make sure that you're good for your mission. They do various things such as check your blood pressure, right? Dental, and your general physical health, vision, things of those natures. As I'm going through the SRP process, going through each station, and as I go through the station, the doctor, I get to one point where they have to check my blood pressure. Again, I'm not even thinking about my issue with regards to high blood pressure. The nurse puts the strap on, she pumps up the device, she's reading, and then she pauses. She gives me this strange look, and she goes, "Are you okay?" I look back at her, "Yeah, I'm okay." She said, "You don't feel dizzy, you don't see spots or anything?" I said, "No, I'm all right, I feel fine." She goes, "Okay, wait a minute." So we wait a few minutes, she tells me to relax, she does it again, takes my blood pressure, and she asks me saying, "Are you okay? Do you feel okay?" I said, "Yeah, I feel fine." She said, "You don't feel like you're about to pass out or anything?" I said, "No." She goes, "Okay." She leaves. She confers with another nurse that's sitting close by. She goes and gets the doctor. the doctor arrives. Now he's got a completely different device. He sits down and said, "Mr. Gaskins, you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." He straps me up. He takes my blood pressure. And he goes, says the same thing. "Are you okay? Feel all right?" And start asking the same questions. They never revealed what the number was at that point in time. So I have no idea. But there was certainly a sign of concern on everybody's face at that time. Going back to high blood pressure. Over time, high blood pressure can quietly damage the body. If left uncontrolled, one can end up with a disability, poor quality of life, as I talked about before, and even lead to death, fatality. When my blood pressure was first taken, again, the nurse asked me if I was okay. I felt fine. After the doctor took my blood pressure, he recommended I immediately be admitted to the emergency room. The American Heart Association estimates over 80 million adults are affected with high blood pressure. That's approximately 1 in 5 people. There is no direct cause for high blood pressure, but there are some prevalent factors. Smoking, weight control, high sodium in diets, could be genetics, hereditary. African Americans are 2 times as likely as white Americans to have high blood pressure. Some of these factors fit my profile. I did smoke at one point in time. I do struggle with weight control. Discipline with trying to do exercise with a heavy workload is sometimes impossible. All right? But again, it's really no excuse to save my life. The doctor, I just said, the doctor directed I be admitted to the hospital. Immediately, everything stopped. Soldiers had to immediately take care of me, take me to the hospital. I couldn't even be left to drive myself to the hospital. And eventually I was taken to the ER and admitted. In that time being admitted, again, I had to have soldiers attend to me. My level of independence was completely taken away from me in that moment. The American Heart Association designates that normal blood pressure is considered to be 120/8 or lower. Pressure above 140 or 90 is considered stage 1 high blood pressure. Pressure at 180 or 100, above 100, is considered crisis mode. My blood pressure on that day was 220/116. It took 2 days to get my blood pressure to normal. I spent 4 days in the hospital in Queens, New York, when I live in Jersey. I inconvenienced my girlfriend. I inconvenienced soldiers in the unit who had to stay at the hospital with me overnight. Eventually, I had to tell them to go home and just leave me to my devices and leave me to deal with it. I was dependent, and I became a burden upon others. Again, there is no cause for high blood pressure, but it can be controlled and treated with medication and good lifestyle choices. Limit sodium in your diet, quit smoking, control your weight, take medicine, and just follow your doctor's orders. It's pretty simple. Some medications are used, several medications are used to control high blood pressures. Two of the ones that I use are diuretics. And diuretics, what diuretics is, it helps the body deplete excess water and salt from the body, therefore decreasing the volume of blood that your body is actually pumping through the body and through your kidneys, so they're not working as hard. There are also beta blockers. And I take a beta blocker, and what the beta blocker does is slow your heart down so it's not pumping as hard and as normal as it normally would. all right? But there are several other medications out there. Those are the two that I use as an example because I use them. During my episode in the time in the hospital, it was revealed I suffered mild kidney damage and a large heart, both attributed to my high blood pressure. The silent killer. Remember, everybody, I felt great. There was no issues, so I thought. Today, I take my meds more religiously. I try eating healthy. It is tough, and it is tough. All right? I'm single. I eat out a lot, and as you know, and I'm on the go a lot. And pretty much everywhere you go, food is processed, salt is already added to it, so it is very difficult to live by those rules of trying to limit the sodium intake into the body. At that time, I quit smoking on the spot, immediately quit smoking on the spot. I felt the smoking did have immediate effect on my breathing at the time, and I do feel much, much more better without smoking. I do check my blood pressure regularly. It's tough, it takes discipline. I do slip from time to time, but I'm determined to beat the silent killer. That concludes my informative speech talking about high blood pressure. Are there any questions? Yeah. My audience has any questions? Again, that concludes my speech. Thank you.